Hey everybody, I hope you are ready for a seed update because I've got a lot to show you. Starting with my kind of new temporary setup, I've made a little expansion and I'm looking forward to showing you. So it's right over here. I've commandeered this little section of the greenhouse for my seeds. Figure I have at least 2 weeks where I can use it for seeds before it has to start being used for plants for customers. So I'm going to take you through what I have and what's kind of sprung forth, starting down here with the plants that I had started back home. So these here, this is the coleus. These are growing really well. I was so afraid of the coleus. I thought it was going to be really difficult. Wasn't bad at all. That yarrow, I had read from people who said, oh, yarrow can be really slow. You want to be really careful with it. I had no problems at all. This stuff is growing like crazy. It's kind of growing like a weed like it does outside. So I don't know what I was so worried about. Then the Terrenia, I've got Terrenia growing kind of at different sizes. So we've got, some bigger ones, some smaller ones. So that's the purple bell vine. I have one and then I have 2 more that are still kind of growing there. So you can see these are all doing pretty well. I have my little fungus gnat thing here because we had 1 shipment of plants where there was 1 tray that had fungus gnats on it. So I'm really paying attention. We've only caught 1 in the last 3 days. So that's a good sign, but who knows, a hatch could come forth and change everything. Now I'm going to show you what's underneath these grow lights because I've added lots of grow lights and I'll pull out the trays so I can show you. So first up are the Ranunculus. So these are the corms that I had planted up with Pat. They all look great. They're coming together. This one here, which is the white one, seems a little more sluggish, whereas the red one, which had the giant corms, is doing the best. So I'm happy to see it. I've been giving it fertilizer. I did drill some little holes for drainage just because I was getting nervous about overwatering. So I got those there. So this tray right here, this has some Saloia over on this side, and then over here is the chili, and nothing's happening in this one quite yet. I think this one here is probably a Saloia that maybe went stray, I'm thinking. I'm not sure. So that's where that is, but it's looking pretty good. And what I need to do is make sure and rotate these trays every day or so. So I'll do that, put it back later. So here's some more Saloia, and this is the plume mix. And what I like about the Saloia is I think you can get a little hint of the color. Like I think the one with the red stem might be more of a red color. The one with the yellow stem might be more of a yellow. There's, I think, an orange in there as well. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on those. So I like that. So I need to make sure that I turn this one this way. This is the supercrest Saloia, and I had pretty good germination. I'm not seeing any action here and in these 3 cells and this one here, but otherwise pretty good. I'm happy with how that one's growing. Look at that, 2 in that one, so I'll be thinning these out a little later, but it's all coming together on that one. So these are all the amaranth. So I've got some decent germination. I have them planted kind of going in this way. So these 2 rows are the red spike. This one is the coral fountain, and then this one is emerald tassels. This one is dreadlocks, and looks like early splendor is so far the one that's behind all the other ones. So we'll see what happens with that. And then these are all bells of Ireland. These 3 rows were from a seed packet from M.I. Gardner, and these 3 rows were from Harris Seeds. And the ones from M.I. Gardner definitely sprung up sooner than the ones from Harris, but these seem to be catching up. I did have a little better germination rate from the M.I. Gardner ones, and these were all cold stratified exactly the same way at the same time. So who knows what was going on with that. Let's see if I can get these. These are all the different types of grasses that I was trying, and these came up really well. So I have Purple Majesty, Bunny Tails. That one is the one that seems to be a little bit behind, and I have 3 of them showing up there. This is also Bunny Tails. Here's the Black Tip Wheat, so we'll see how that goes. I wonder why this one's going so sideways. And then Highlander grass is these 2 here. So this corner here isn't doing quite as well as these over here, but there's some more seeds coming. So there's still time for those to do their thing. They're getting a little tall for the lights. I think I'm gonna just leave them out because they should get enough light here in the greenhouse, hopefully. So we'll take care of that. Let me put these back right away. These here are sweet alysum, and there are a couple of them in here, but there's not a lot of action happening on this one. I'm okay with that. I'll take my time. So I'm glad I started this one when I did because it's definitely behind many of the other seeds. Okay, so these are my figuro dahlias. So They take up these 3 rows of this half and then these 2 here. These are my red skin, so I get these 3 rows here and these 2 here, and they're both doing really well. I love that I can see the difference in the leaf color on those, so I know they're going to be different. The Clarkia is a little slow, so there is one there, one there. I don't know how well you can see that. So, oh, there's another one over here. So it is doing something, so that's good news. And this whole tray here is pumpkin on a stick. So looks like I'm having pretty good germination. And I have to say, I mentioned in the last video that the mix that I was using was kind of fibrous. It is not ideal. So I'll talk about that too in a little bit. But wow, look at, oh, I've got a lot of pumpkin on a stick coming. So I'm happy about that because I really love this plant. Here I have more of the chili, so those peppers are taking a little longer. I have heard people say that peppers are a lot slower to germinate. And then these over here are pumpkin on the stick. So I'm really happy to have these showing up. I have to show you my other pumpkin on the stick. Those things are crazy, interesting plants. Here are the pumpkin on a stick that I started last month. You can see the dark stems are starting to show up. But the crazy thing, and I never noticed this before, look at the spikes on these leaves. That is absolutely crazy. This plant is so full of surprises because not only does it kind of get nice and big and shrub-like, but then it also has this very interesting fruit. It's not fruit you can eat, but it's very cool ornamental fruit. And then you get these crazy spikes. So this thing just is a surprise every single time I look at it. And I just can't wait to see what it brings us next. These were the seeds that I had directly sown into these pots, and so this row here was Autumn Beauty Sunflower. So far 2 of the 4 have shown up. This is the Prairie Sunflower one, again 2 of the 4. This one here is the Fiesta del Sol Mexican Sunflower. All 4 of those came up, so that's good news. Now these here, looks like all 4 of my cocogold marigolds have shown up. This one here is the Mission Yellow Marigold from Burpee. I've only gotten 1 of the 4 so far. And this is the Lemonade Sunflower. All 4 of those came up, so that's good news. I'm going to switch them out here. These go in this direction here. This half here is all cocogold, and it looks like I've got 5 out of 6. This one over here is the Big Duck. I've got 6 for 6, so that's good news. Now I'm going to switch this one over here. I want to rotate them so that the light hits different ones at different times because they are starting to lean a little bit. Now these here, this is some zinnias. And so these are all the Queenie Lime Zinnia, Oklahoma Mix Zinnia, and the Benary's Giant. So those, I'm 12 for 12 here. That's good. And then we'll get these back under there. Since I know I have that area with the grow lights for a little bit longer, want to take advantage of that extra light by planting up some statice, and that way I can get it under there because our days are still pretty short, so having that extra time under the grow lights is going to help these plants once they germinate. So hopefully I can get these all in here, hopefully they germinate quickly and I can get as much time under the lights as possible. So the first statice I'm going to plant is the apricots. So let's give this a go. This is from M.I. Gardner, and I did change up my soil. I had a bunch to choose from. I talked about that in my last video, and the one that I chose, it was the one with all that fiber in it, and I don't think that's the best one for seed starting. You might have seen in my soil blocks that fiber just doesn't hold together as well, and even the regular kind of potting mix that we use for our other plants, it's not as fine as the stuff that you get, like, you know, the potting soil you get in a bag. So it would benefit if I would put these through a screen and get all the chunks out, but I'm not taking the time to do that. And so this does show you that it does work even if you don't go and screen it out and if you do have little bits of fiber and this and that in there, it'll be okay. But it probably would be a little better for me to do it that way. So let's get these in there. So let's see, can I use this? Now the other seeds that I have here is a stock. It's the Iron Pastel mix from Johnny's, and this one here is the Balsam Camellia flowered mix, and this is a type of bush impatient. It's really beautiful and kind of tropical. I've grown this one before, and so I want to just get some starts going in here. One thing I will say is, after working with like the sunflowers, the zinnias, and the marigolds, these smaller seeds are a little bit more work. And boy, those plants, those things, all three of them, ended up germinating within, it was about 36 hours, I'd say, if that. I was amazed because I thought for sure it would take at least, 48 to 72 hours. Nope, 36 hours, they were ready to go. So that's really incredible to me that those plants, they give you so much satisfaction when you can get a result that quickly. So I'm really loving it. I am not doing a great job of keeping track of which ones I put seeds in, so there's a chance I'm going to have some that are double seeded, which double seeding is a pretty normal way to seed anyway, so I guess I'm just by default doing it the way they recommend sometimes. But oops, it's just kind of one of those things. But anyway, I am having a great time with these seeds. I do need to also show you, back in the fall I had planted up some tulips and some daffodils, so I'm going to make sure and show you those. Maybe I'll put a picture up on the screen of what those look like right now. And then the daffodils I sent up with Pat, and she is loving them. They're already blooming for her, so she's just over the moon with those beautiful blooms. And I think she has them in the kitchen right now, just on the table. And whatever variety it was just something I got from Tractor Supply. Those things are absolutely huge. So what I'm going to do after I get these all seeded is I'll spray them with just plain water, and then I'll cover them with the soil. I don't know, I just find I feel like if I spray them with a little water, it's going to maybe set the seeds a little bit. And then I'll cover them with some soil and give them a little bit more of a spray of water, and then let them do their thing. And we'll see. These are plants that I haven't grown from seed before, so we'll see how they do. So I'm going to get my tags in here, and that's something I made sure to do ahead of time, because otherwise I'm really bad about tags. I think some of these detail things, I love the flowers. Oops, well, I guess I just lost a seed. That's okay. So let me get this going. And actually I'm going to just wrap up right now. I think the rest of the process I've shown you before. I'm going to cover these with the plastic, and after I get them sprayed, and then just put them in there where it's going to stay nice and warm. And once they start to germinate, take the plastic off, put them under the lights, and watch them grow. So I'll be pulling out the ones that are in the 4-inch pots and replacing them with these once these germinate. So this has been really nice, and it's kind of soothing. The sun's starting to go down too, so I kind of feel like I need to wrap this up. Otherwise you're going to be seeing me in the dark, which isn't going to be a great thing anyway. So I'll talk to you guys all very, very soon. Thank you for watching the videos. Remember, if you have any suggestions that you're seeing with what I'm doing, feel free to leave a comment. I'm really appreciative. You guys have been fantastic with giving me advice and giving suggestions. So thank you guys all very much, and I will see you guys next time.